Alright, welcome back to the Supercoach Nuff channel. In this video we're going to look at our team lists for round 3 of the 2025 NRL season. So team lists should be about to drop in 10 minutes or so. Sounds like there's some strong early mail that there will be some fairly big announcements in terms of Supercoach, NRL Fantasy, those sorts of relevant selections. So look forward to that. But while we wait, as usual, we use this opportunity to go through the Dream Team, team and league. So a 917 this week in Dream Team, which saw an overall rank jump of 600. So in the top 50%, which is a movement in the right direction. In the top 27% for the round. So if we have a look at the team and how they went. So Pete Mamazelis returning a monster 67. A great score for him as I lose track of the scroll. Corey Pakes with 42, just pure base. I think that was all the tackles that he made against the Raiders. But projected to bounce back this week with them lining up against the Cowboys that are struggling a bit. In the front row, so Barnett continues to underwhelm with a 37. Horsburgh, though, has been good with a 60, and Terrell May's been immense with an 80-point return this week in the stifling hot conditions on Sunday. Isaiah Yeo with 34 was a bit flat. We're going to forgive him on that performance. Nafahu White with a 48. Was really good for the Roosters in that game against Penrith. And Kobe Hetherington with just a 23 was a bit underwhelming as well. Hubner was our only bench second rower who played, scored 44, but unfortunately is out this week with a suspension. In the halves, so Cleary was 71 in a well-beaten team, was quite good. Hines bounced back with a 67. And then, unfortunately, we guessed wrong with the rookie. We went with Duffy, who only scored a 24, but Metcalf bounced back with a 71. And then the backs, solid from our centres. Garrick with a 49, Skelton with 59. So fantastic returns there for those guys. Purdue with 32 on the bench wasn't too bad. I think this was his highest scoring format, which is nice. And Rob Toyer with a 32 as well. And then the backs, so Tommy Turbo with just the 20, went off with hamstring tightness. So a bit of a concern there. Kalen Ponga as our captain, 69 points was pretty good. It would have been nice to go a little bit higher, but considering Cleary was 71, but we'll take what we can get. Campbell with a 37 was good without being fantastic. And then Iongi and Shibasaki, 17 and 22, respectively. And Seanan Smith in our flex, so was a bit nervous about having him in the flex after I think he scored 18 in round 1. But he bounced back nicely with the 61, doing the business against the Panthers. So in terms of the head-to-head this week, so got the win by about 100 points over Mitchell's team, Noddy. So take a while to load. There we go. So he played Metcalf, which was nice, but unfortunately captained Tommy Turbo, so that didn't quite work out. Nicholson with an 85, though, was a good get. And I guess thought the C was bad. The VC on Reece Walsh, -2. That is not good. Jesse Arthurs was 64, though. Great return. Josh Curran was 60. So obviously got that nice soft try and line break, which helped. But starting in the front row looks like a bit of a point of difference option. And then a few of the guns on the bench. Left Sandon Smith on the bench, so that's a bit stiff. Left Tino on the bench as well. So, and it's got Latrell and Kiraz in the starting lineup. So maybe a case of set up the team and then has forgot to change it from that. But across the league, top score looks like Nathan's team, the Brisbane Broncos. I think that name's already been taken, champ, but we'll run with it. So yeah, Lucas and Ponga on Thursday night was good. Metcalf, nice. Connor Watson with an 85, that's a really good get. Humphreys in the flex, that's a good one as well. Preston with the 57 was pretty solid. Obviously, Hosking going down injured is going to create at least one move this week for Nathan. But Captain Cleary, rock solid. Can't go too far wrong with that. Mamazelis, Horsburgh, Terrell May. So fantastic. Great work, Nath, cracking the 4 digits. So just have a look at the other players as well. We've got a couple of minutes up the sleeve. So based on round two, so Connor Watson was the top scorer alongside Matty Nicholson. Kale Iro, nice point of difference with an 84. Wade Egan at 84 at hooker, playing, I think he played 80 minutes from memory. Oh, I just realised I did say it right here, 80 minutes. I didn't need to click out. Taruva, 3 tries helped him get to an 82. So, off the back of a 20, not a must have. Dylan Lucas has looked good to start the season as a keeper in the centres. Tedesco with 76 is good. Gutho. So despite turning up both weeks in Supercoach, he's come off a 22 in Dream Team. So just one to be mindful of here as they do score it a lot differently. Kepi got a try, 75. Stone Street scoring well. Starling looks pretty good in this format as well. Katoa, nice option in the halves. Tuipulotu on the bye this week, so just wait a week for him. Fletcher Sharp's going well. Humphreys obviously best. A lot of these guys, Tino, 69, coming back. So lots of good options there. In terms of break evens, so I think this is the last week of freebies, but I will shell out the $20 or whatever it is for the viewers. Jamie Humphreys with a negative 76, so coming off back-to-back 70s. Does have a couple of tough fixtures coming up with the Sharks and Panthers, but I guess like fantasy, you do get kick meter points and that sort of thing. And the job security looks like it's on the up given Dodd is out injured. So if he can go well the next couple of weeks, obviously he'll make us some cash, but he'll really nail down that job security as well. Tamale looks like it sounds like he's going to be named this week. So Albert Hopewadi, unfortunately, is going to miss out, a bit stiff. That he missed essentially one game for the birth of his child, and Tamale has just robbed him of his spot. So well done to those that got on. I don't know if I got enough trades to bring him in this week. Probably one of them is this guy here, Jesse Arthurs, back-to-back 60s, and then he's got the Cowboys, and then I think the Dolphins and the Tigers after that. So very scared of what could happen. Knowing that, I'll trade him in and he'll fall flat. Tamale will go good, and I'll look a bit silly. But we'll put the trades in for this week. So I guess we're going to try and change up the team a little bit. So Tom Travojevic, obviously with the hamstring tightness, a little bit of a concern. Obviously could go big at Brookie if he does play, but I do want to get Arthurs in. And so I think that's the easiest way because I need to make a bit of cash. Because I guess the other move I'd like to do is Tuolangi down and get Payne Haas in. So that works out really well in terms of the money. Obviously, Haas is crushing it. I guess the issue that does leave me with is I need to make room for Humphreys for my boost. So the obvious sort of trade there would be just to swap with Duffy, but obviously I need another 100k. So in terms of options, I mean, one option could be to forego Arthurs and bring in Tamale in the centres. So if I trade out Arthurs, this is taking its sweet time. I'd have to swing Garrick back for a bit and then try and find him on the list. Bring in Tamale in the centres, and then that would then allow for that trade. So that works. The other option is if I do really want to go with Arthur's, I'd have to find a replacement for Payne Haas. So if I just make that trade back, so we'll plug Arthur's in. So with Haas, obviously if we're looking in the front row, looking in the second row, because Tuolangi's been, or Horsburgh's been shifted back. So in the front row, we could get most options. Not Haas, not Carrigan. And I must have skipped past him. Oh no, there's Tino. So we could get Tino. Obviously this week we can wait a week and see how he goes before committing. But yeah, no, I think I'm going to go with the sort of original plan. So Payne Haas in the front row. I need to switch Garrick so I can access Tamale in the centres. And I guess, we've got some good cash gen there. We've got Payne Haas, who I guess is looking like an absolute weapon. Before, he won't get cheaper than 780 for a while, given his start. So I think we're comfortable with that. Just quickly, I think Cleary is vice captain. Obviously, against the Storm in Melbourne is tough, but if anyone can do it, it'll be him. And then captain this week, probably Ponga against the Titans is pretty good, but I guess now we've got him, we'll just lock in Big Pain against the Cowboys. We'll see who they've got in the forward pack, but he might have a field day, Big Pain. So let's refresh and have a look at the teams. You can tell it's good because it's nice and slow. Means people are on here checking them out. There we go. Team list round 3. I just talked about the Cowboys forward pack. Big JT is back. So Storm Panthers. So for the Storm, don't know the difference from the other week. So Will Warbrick out. I thought that might be the case. Grant Anderson on the wing. But other than that, looks pretty full strength. So for those that own Paps, Munster, Harry Grant, everything is looking good there. For the Panthers, Dane Laurie coming in for Dylan Edwards. So not sure what he's priced in the different formats. Can have a bit of a look in terms of Sportsdeck here, $3.91. So he did play a few games at fullback last year, which has elevated his price. If it was a bit later in the season with that coming off the bench and whatnot, we might have been a play. He's just probably a bit awkwardly priced, and particularly at fullback. Unless we see a name missing a bit later, I think there's better options there already. But the rest of the back line looks solid. McLean, Tungo, Alamotti, To'o, Cole, Cleary. Forward pack looks full strength. Yep, so pretty solid squad there from the Panthers. So just Dylan Edwards is the only one missing. Warriors Roosters. So for the Warriors, looks the same as last week. Yeah, I think that's the same 17. I don't remember who started or whatever, but Yep, same 17. And for the Roosters, back line looks the same. Spencer Leniu back. Lindsay Collins coming off the bench. That may flip. I'm not too sure. But for Keddy, I think he's challenging his downgrade. So, probably Lasalu will come onto the bench in place for him. But with Radley named back as well after his HIA, but named at 13, and Siwa Wong getting his spot on the edge. So, pretty interesting lineup there. A little bit more reinforcement in the middle. So, does Connor Watson still play 80? Not too sure. Bronx and Cowboys. So, for the Broncos, backline looks the same. And so does the forward pack, so does the bench. So there was a bit of talk Gajeski might get the punt for Piakura. So maybe just watch the late mail on that. But they've named the same 17, so we'll take Madge on his word. And for the Cowboys, a couple of changes. So Robert Derby coming in for Braden Burns. So one to keep an eye on as a cheap option. I guess if you need one in fantasy this week. But also, I guess, wait a couple of weeks for Supercoach and Dream Team. And Jake Clifford coming in for Tom Duffy. So the early mail was true that Duffy is getting a bath this week. Tal Malolo named to start, so good to see him back as well. Jeremiah Nanai named on the bench. So, pretty big bench as well. Looks like Reece Robson's a chance of 80 minutes. If that was trying to sway you into picking him. But yeah, probably the big news, Tom Duffy out. So might be a forced change across all three teams that I've got him in. He is named on the extended bench though, so he's not completely out of it. Sharks Rabbitohs. So the Sharks, just a quick glance, doesn't seem anything out of the ordinary from last week. For Souths, so Jack Whiten back is good. Tallis Duncan named in the 13 despite carrying an injury, I thought. So that's good news. And LeBlanc coming in for Hubner. Looks like the one sort of change to that squad, other than Jack Whiten, obviously. Dolphins, Tigers. So the Dolphins looking very much the same as what they've run with. Oren Keeley, so still no Fini Fuiaki, named on the extended reserve. So maybe one I've got to shuffle on in a couple of my teams. But other than that, looks pretty well the same as last week. Well, I think it is the same as last week. And for the Tigers, so I wouldn't imagine too many changes to a winning team. Doesn't look like it. So all set there. So the Titans, same team as last week, just having a quick glance. So Dave Fafita, still on the bench, probably sell if you've got him. And for the Knights, not expecting too much difference. Also, Frizzell shifting out on the edge for Kai Pearce-Paul, who's suspended. And I think Cant is the one coming on the bench there in place of where Elliott was. Brody Jones, was he named to start at prop last week as well? Maybe not, because Leo Thompson's out. Eels, Bulldogs. So for the Eels, Dean Hawkins coming in to the 7. I think he was the preferred backup to Moses, but he was injured himself. So replacing Volkman. No Josh Adokar, which is interesting. Named in the extended bench. Surely you think he'd take the place of Sam Rani. But if not, might be another cheapie just to keep an eye on. And then the forward pack looks the same as last week. Bench looks the same. So just Hawkins in. So Ryle's not hitting the panic button just yet. And for the Bulldogs, so Haywood named to replace Burton in the six. I like that move. Was initially a half, and then sort of moved more into hooker, and then I guess sort of built to play that middle forward role there at the Dogs. And Tupanua named to replace Viliami Kikau. So that sees Curtis Morin and Saluka Fafita onto the bench. I wouldn't be surprised if on game day you see a bit of a swap where Saluka Fafita starts and Curran comes off the bench, but then similar to round one, Saluka Fafita only plays that first 25. Curran would then play the other 55 in the middle. But they may also just want to spell him in between. So I think, Curran will get the good minutes. Saluka Fafita and Morin will probably play those more 25-minute roles. I think Harry Hayes is probably worthy of closer to a 40-minute role, replacing Salmon. Oh, sorry, I forgot about Kurt Mann. So yeah, I guess maybe Hayes will cover an edge or something if need be. And then Sea Eagles and Raiders. So Tom Travojevic, DC both named, which is good news for Sea Eagles fans. Not seeing any big changes there, so that's good stuff. And for the Raiders, so Trey Mooney getting a spot on the bench. So Tamale getting the spot over Hopewadi. So that was the big one I was supposed to look out for. I skipped straight over it. But yeah, Hopewadi in the extended reserve. So a bit stiff on him, but I guess well done to those who already have Tamale. I'm going to have to reassess my Supercoach trades, I think, and work out what we're doing. So yes, I guess that's the team list. So the big news: Tamale in, Duffy out. I think are probably the two big ones that have the most Supercoach relevance. Was there anyone else massive? I don't think so. So yeah, so it gives us something to think about. So we'll talk about that, all things trades in the Thursday videos for Fantasy and Supercoach. So obviously if you've got any questions, comments, thoughts off the back of this, feel free to add them below this video. Give us a like if you enjoy the team list or even the Sportsdeck Dream Team content. Subscribe for all the fantasy sports content on the channel. We're fast approaching the big 600. So thanks to everyone who has got on board recently and those that are about to. But other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.